tell you what, it is on body camera and video.
And everybody's watching.
Oh my God!
Get in the car! You're gonna get bit!
Looks like they may attack her.
I'm allowed to break the law.
Somebody secure my glasses, my body camera's on it.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of PD Cam. I'm Sergeant Sean Larkin, but most people just call me Sticks. Now let's dive right in. Our first story takes us to Horry County, South Carolina, where officers have stopped two women in a parking lot that were suspected of shoplifting. This incident was caught on an officer's dash cam. Now remember, you won't see anything that was shot with a professional camera here on PD Cam.
They're in a Jeep, a black Jeep.
Like that right there?
That's probably that.
Yeah, that's him. That's him right there.
County 564, we're 38 in parking lot from the suspect.
No, 38.
Step out here. You have any weapons on or anything like that? Alright, you're being detained right now for shoplifting, okay? Listen, I'm explaining it to you right now. You're being detained for shoplifting, so we're going to talk about it, alright? Step over here by my car.
Now the term detained, it means they're not free to leave, but not necessarily under arrest.
Listen you're both being detained right now. Listen to me for a second, okay? Calm down. You are being detained for shoplifting. That's why we're here, okay? Because your loss of ma'am, listen to me. I'm sorry. Loss prevention employees at the store watch you guys just some merchandise.
While one suspect stays at the patrol car, another goes back to the vehicle with an officer.
What is this? Ma'am, turn out the car! Get out of the car! Back up! Put in park! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
One of the officers stayed at the scene with the passenger, while the rest went in pursuit of the driver. Now look closely on the right of the screen here. You'll see an officer that's thrown out a set of spike strips. The driver swerves to avoid them, but she's unsuccessful and ends up blowing out a tire. This will severely slow her down.
Don't hit him.
All right, yeah.
You got a gun? You got something?
Turns out, the driver had multiple outstanding warrants for shoplifting. For this incident, she pled guilty to first-degree assault and battery, hit and run, shoplifting, and criminal conspiracy. She received a sentence of 7 years in prison. The passenger pled guilty to shoplifting and was sentenced to a year in jail. We're moving on to Marshfield, Wisconsin, where a man on parole for fraud and destruction of property was threatening his probation officer and a social worker with a knife.
Pat, put that knife down.
Now, officers know this gentleman by his first name because they've dealt with him before.
Pat, you need to stay there.
Stay there, Pat. Pat, stay there. I don't want you to get hurt.
This is the body cam of the canine officer now trying to move into a better tactical position.
Pat, stop! Please, stop! Pat, put that knife down! Pat, put the knife down! Now! I don't want you to get hurt. Stop! Put that knife down, Pat, now! Put it down!
Each shot fired from the shotgun is a non-lethal beanbag round.
Another one. Dog.
Terry, dog!
Stun! Put it down! Pat, get on the ground! Get on the ground! H, plots! Where's the knife?
It's back.
Plots!
Yeah, I got dog,
Sit down,
Terry.
Pat.
I got him.
Pat, you got lethal. I'm gonna go hands. Stay right there.
I got cover too. Stay down. Pat, stay down. Taser.
Okay, I'm gonna pass you. Don't let dog get me.
Live.
Other hand, Pat. Other hand. Okay, stand up, buddy. You all right?
What's your hand? Where's your 1095?
Come on up here.
Leave those there.
Spread your feet for me. Anything else on you that's gonna poke, stick, or hurt me?
Nope.
Are you doing all right right now?
Fair.
You got an ambulance on the way. Are you doing okay?
I'm fair.
You're fair?
I heard.
You hurt?
Yeah.
Okay, where?
Well, you guys talked to whatever you did.
Yeah, those are beanbags. You wouldn't drop the knife, Pat. I didn't want to do that. I told you a whole bunch of times to drop that knife.
The suspect was taken into custody without further incident. He was charged with 4 felonious counts of reckless endangerment, as well as 1 count of obstructing an officer. He is currently awaiting trial. Our next story involves a Washington State trooper who came across a vehicle going way under the speed limit. The trooper's dash cam recorded the entire event.
Alright, can you pull into this little opening over here? Can you pull over into that little opening right there for me?
The woman, who is in her 80s, had reportedly gone out to meet a friend, but got lost going home. She ended up over 4 miles away in the wrong direction.
1066 Bellingham. She's in a little cart. Hi, State Patrol here. Being recorded. Well, we're getting a ton of calls on you. Everybody's worried about you because you've been on and off the road.
There's no road.
I know. Does that?
Trouble, I went through this street again.
Yeah. But you don't know the. Do you have a driver's license that shows your address where you're going?
I know where I'm going.
Oh, okay. Let me get you a map here real quick.
Yeah, it's right here. It's a map.
Well, this isn't.
It's right here.
Okay. You passed Depot Road 4 miles back.
I didn't see it. I'm sure.
Well, your map isn't big enough. Let me grab my map real quick. Just a second. Hold on. No, you need to hold up. She missed her turn. There's no way to get her scooter and herself back to where she needs to be. So I'm going to just monitor her to get her to her road. So I'll stay in the area and make sure she gets to where she's going. Are you stuck? Yeah, you're stuck.
You left me alone. I would have gotten home and saw.
Well, no, you were going the wrong way. No, you wouldn't have. I'm trying to help you, so don't be impatient with me, okay? I will help you get out of here. Okay, let me see if I can just push you, see if we can get you out of here.
Just don't tip it.
I'm not going to tip it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, just hold up. Just hold up for a second. So I'm going to follow you, because you're not legally able to be here on the road, okay? No, it's not a motor vehicle. It doesn't have a license plate. It doesn't have signals. It doesn't have a light. Yeah. So just stay here. Stay as close to you can on the shoulder and all. I'm just going to make sure you get where you're going. Okay.
Now, this is something I've never come across working in the Tulsa gang unit. Since her scooter can only do 6 miles an hour, it reportedly took close to 1 hour to get her back home. This is without a doubt one of the most patient troopers I've ever seen.
Okay, do you know where you're going now? Okay, no more out on the state route.
Police work doesn't always involve arrests, guns, and tasers. Sometimes it's just about helping a little old lady get back home. In case you were wondering, there were no charges filed against her. We're back on PD cam. This time, we're heading to the Florida Gulf Coast, where a reputed gang member fled Pasco County deputies in a stolen pickup truck after they tried to arrest him for a probation violation. This incident was captured on 3 of the officer's body cameras. Now watch closely. You're about to see 2 crashes back to back. First, the suspect hits an innocent civilian's vehicle and knocks it into a nearby parking lot. Then, the suspect crashes the truck into the pole of a traffic light. Let's watch that again. Now that's the suspect's truck that just crashed.
Snap down. Can't see. You see your hands? Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Both of them. Both of them. The both hands are up. Both hands are up. Both hands are up. Will that door open over there? Both hands are up. Not secured. Open the door! Somebody get the door! Eric, open that door! The door won't open over there. You come out this side.
Door's jammed.
You're wedged in there. Eric, can you come out this side?
Just keep eye on his hands. We're good.
We got him covered. We got him covered from this side.
Now, officers are covering him from the passenger side of the car as the deputies on the driver's side try to get him out.
It's gonna fall out the door when they open it. Yeah, just let them know that. That way. Oh, right there. We're good. We're good. Good.
Get him, get him, get him.
Yeah, get him. Yeah.
Just slide my door, please.
As I mentioned earlier, the guy is a suspected gang member and possibly armed, and they're concerned that he might be faking it.
Careful.
Come on, go back. Right, just back. Yeah, Paul.
Turns out the suspect actually was knocked out from the crash and wasn't faking it.
The guy's not dead.
The suspect was not seriously injured and was checked out at a hospital before being taken to jail where he remains. He is awaiting trial on charges of violation of parole, fleeing police, illegal possession of a firearm, theft of a vehicle, possession of drug paraphernalia, and trafficking in methamphetamine. Our next story takes us to South Carolina, where deputies from the Florence County Sheriff's Office attempted to pull over a vehicle for reckless driving. It was all caught on the squad car's dash camera.
What is she, the flip is she doing? Turn in a through line, park.
Have a good line.
1069. You see hands. See hands. Put your hands on the thing. Put your hands there. Detain her. Go, Joe! Come on!
The boyfriend you saw get out of the car before is now in one of the patrol cars that's in pursuit.
Well, you're trying to get our report, you know? Or shoot them with
Going up to 95 now.
Now the officers are trying to pit maneuver to end this pursuit. Now the voice you hear yelling there, that's the suspect's boyfriend in the patrol car.
Stop. What are you doing?
Yeah, if I can get out there for the trailer, I'll try to get a hold of it.
Oh, yeah, perfect, man.
Just hit 211.
Headed towards Stevie Road. 211, okay.
With a little more space, they try that pit maneuver again. Now, just a heads up, what you're about to see is difficult to watch.
Roll over, roll over, roll over. 1050.
Let's watch that again. The rollover happens so fast, you might not have even noticed that the driver is ejected from the SUV as it flips.
Roll over. 1050.
Scott, we're already on TV right in front of the old Harley Davidson. Campbell. 211's going to be disabled at Clark and Jones.
Miraculously, the suspect survived with only minor injuries and was treated at a nearby hospital before being sent to the Florence County Detention Center. It turns out she had an outstanding warrant for her arrest for armed robbery. Criminal charges against the suspect are still pending. Joining us now in the studio is the Public Information Officer for the Florence County Sheriff's Office, Major Michael Nunn. Thank you for being here, Major.
Great to be here, Sean.
So how did the whole thing actually get started?
This particular suspect had an outstanding felony warrant for her arrest.
Good motivation for her to run in that case.
That's correct. She's in the opposite lane of travel, endangering everyone else on the roadway, running through fences, ditches, gates. You can see innocent civilians standing around while this vehicle's on two wheels and going back and forth. Terrible. What if there'd been kids in the area?
Exactly.
This was at 12:40 in the afternoon. The use of the maneuver to terminate the pursuit was based on the extreme danger to the officers and the public.
So what is it that you guys there in Florence County look at to determine whether to continue a pursuit or to terminate one?
The primary concern is the safety of the public. Anytime there's a pursuit, obviously the public is potentially at risk and danger, as well as the officer.
Correct. I know, speaking from my own agency, more and more officers themselves are making that determination to terminate a pursuit when they see the level of danger go up.
We're constantly evaluating, constantly training to make sure they have the best information possible so that they can make the right decisions.
Well, Major Nunn, thank you so much for your time. Great work by your deputies. You guys should be proud of that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. That's it for all of us, and that's another episode of PD Camp. I'm Sergeant Sean Larkin, and thank you for watching.